So now let's fix the bug which I kind of pointed a while ago, that in case the user doesn't provide a long URL with the protocol, then what happens is that while redirecting to that link by using the href over here within the link redirect component, so what happens is if the link doesn't have a protocol, it kind of interprets it as a relative path, as a path of the same domain. And that's why you will see the issue that the long URL will be is going to be appended to the same domain. So in order to fix this, like, we obviously need to take care of it. We cannot expect the user to always add the long URL with the protocol. So what we can do is inside the account page where we have the function, this thing, and we are adding the document within the Firestore database, we can check this thing over here that, well, actually let me just use the console to test it out. So in case the user enters something like this, we can use the includes method and we can search for HTTP in such a way. So if this thing is false, and we actually need to do the same thing like using the OR, and like if the link doesn't have the HTTP or HTTPS, it means that the user didn't provide the protocol. In that case, we do need to add that thing. So we actually need to do the same thing right over here. Well, actually, instead of adding it in such a way, well, actually we can do this right next to it. So if the long URL, if it includes the HTTPS, actually let's check the both thing, long URL or the HTTPS, which means that the user did provide the protocol. In that case, we can just pass in the long URL in the normal way. Otherwise, we do need to add it manually, and for that let's use the backticks. Let's add HTTP. We should be adding the HTTP instead of HTTPS because there's a chance that the domain may not have the SSL certificate, and if we kind of try to use the HTTPS protocol on a no SSL certificate, on a domain which doesn't have the SSL certificate, it may throw a warning. So it's safe to go with HTTP, and normally the websites are configured in such a way that they will automatically be redirected to the HTTPS. So we should be going with this thing as it is safe, and using the template literal, we just need to provide the long URL in such a way. So if we do this thing and if we take a look, let me just refresh this entire thing. So now I will be adding a link with the protocol just to test it out. It says just Google, and let's add in Google in such a way without the protocol. If we do that, there we have the thing, like there we have the protocol being added automatically, which means that the link should be we should be redirected in a proper way. So that's great. And if we do add the protocol, let's add in Google new, something like this, then we shouldn't be adding it 2 more times as it already has the protocol. So that's great. So that's all that we needed to do in order to ensure that the redirection work in a proper way. And there's a tiny thing which is really bothering me. I think the spacing between these two is actually way too close. So let me just fix that. Within the link card, we have this typography, which is the name. And let me just add in the inline styling just to speed up. Margin bottom of about 5 pixels. I think that should be enough. Yep, that's looking much better, I guess. Alright, so I think that's it for the redirect part. Everything is working fine. As we visited that link, we should be having the increment. That's great.